I believe we are live. We're going to double check here. Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Hopefully you can hear and see me okay. Yes, I believe we are live. Today we're doing something different. I haven't done this in years, and that is simulcast on one of my other platforms. So my team got us going on another one of our platforms for Vicki.TV. Thank you all so much for joining us today. You all can see I have a beautiful guest with us today, which I'll introduce him in just a moment. Just a little bit of protocol while the link starts to kick in. Yes, thank you all so much for joining me here, Vicki Dillard, on the Vicki Dillard TV show. Yes, you are tuned into my personal channel. I know some of you all are used to seeing me go live, do national and international commentary on African Diaspora News Channel. Of course, I'm still doing that. And indeed, we have our app and YouTube channel and other platforms. But you're joining me today. Yes, beloved, we are going to be sharing some very, very important updates with a very, very important person from the Chicago area, a very long-standing Black educator in the Chicago area. How many of you all know we've been doing nonstop back-to-back coverage on Chicago for a number of different reasons? And so we're going to get into that. We've had guests before from Chicago for a number of other reasons on the broadcast, and we've reached a whole lot of people on different platforms. And so we're so pleased that you all have joined us today. Yes, family. So, beloved, I do have a little bit of a protocol that as you come in, be sure to come in, giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share. Just like you make little silly videos go viral that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And I believe in all that sometimes. Beloved, we want to be very intentional about sharing this message, because we here in alternative media are the ones that get things moving. We're the one that sets things afire, beloved, and we're the ones that really kind of guide a lot of the other conversations and things that happen in different aspects of our society. Yes, and so when you share, when you like, and when you engage, you help to increase that. And for that, we say thank you so very much. Family, please welcome, help me welcome our guest today, Brother Abdul Muhammad. How are you, brother?
I'm doing fine, Sister Vicki. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
To you and the family. Ashe, to my brothers and sisters. Thank you for having me on the show. You know, you have been a supporter of myself and the Black principles since the very beginning of the fight. So we definitely appreciate your continued support. Not just you, but all of your viewers. We would not have been able to get as much traction because, as you know, the mainstream white-controlled media does not care about the education of Black children and justice for Black people. So we would not have been able to get the attention and the support from the general public across the country and across the world that I have received and the Black principals have received, who are fighting for Black children every day in the city of Chicago. If it was not for you, and it was not for the grassroots, the final call, the grassroots Black media that came around us and didn't just do a 1 or 2 minute story, but went into deep and broke down what was really going on with Black children and Black families and Black educators in the city of Chicago. So I want to thank you. I want to thank your listeners and your viewers.
Yes, sir. Our pleasure. And we thank you so much for that as well. I was getting ready to tell one of my other platforms to join us over here, but I think I'm going to stop now because y'all know I'll be trying to do the most with this on my little phones and stuff. But family, thank you all so much for joining us today. And thank you for those kind words. This is so important. Brother Abdul Muhammad, for those that may or may not be familiar with your story, and before you start, family, if you want to see the previous interviews, the full previous interviews that I've done with our dear brother, just go here, Vicki.TV, and just you'll see under the live section the in-depth full interviews. I know some of you all I heard from that were talking about how powerful it was in times past. You saw a clip on, because y'all know how we do, we're gonna chop this. We chop it up and put it in other places too. So we heard from actually people from other platforms. But family, I want you all to get all of the details and the past couple of interviews that we did with our dear brother, as well as some of his colleagues we did interviews with, family. So you don't want to miss those. Those are right here on this channel. Yes. So be sure to do that. Brother Abdul, for those that are unfamiliar with your story, first of all, who in the world are you? Give us a quick breakdown of your connection to Chicago, the education system, and what is the problem? Talk to us.
Okay, that's a great question. So I'm a lifelong educator. I graduated from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, HBCU.
Oh.
If you went to Grambling, that's not my fault. You still my brother and sister. I love you, so don't blame me that you went to Grambling. So I gotta say that to I would be remiss in my duty if I did not say that. But I graduated from Southern, and I went to school for education because I wanted to. I was inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a college student, and I chose my major as education. And my entire life since I graduated from Southern University has been dedicated to Black children in the city of Chicago. That's all I've done. That's all I've known. I've dedicated my life to Black children. And Allah God has blessed me to have tremendous results. I was the teacher of the year in the city of Chicago. I was nominated twice for the Golden Apple Award. I was featured in Who's Who among American high school teachers for 5 consecutive years. So what I've done in the city of Chicago is I put in tremendous work. Every school that I've walked into that was falling apart when I walked in, I was blessed to transform and turn that school around.
Come on.
These are just the facts of my track record of what I've done. I also do a lot of community work in the city of Chicago, which I'm dedicated to that just as much as I'm dedicated to the education of Black children. I'm a member of the Nation of Islam. I've never hid the fact that I'm a member of the nation. I shouldn't have to hide the fact that I'm a member of the Nation of Islam. If I would have walked into any of these schools that I've been in with lipstick and a dress on, I would be on the cover of the CPS magazine for high school principals. But because I walked in there as a strong, educated, dignified Black man who is dedicated to educating Black children, then I, like my colleagues, became a target of the system in Chicago public schools that does not care for, does not like Black children, and does not appreciate a Black leader that can transform the educational experience of Black children, which I have done. One of the schools, and I'll say this because I think this just kind of speaks to my, at this point, 30 years of work with Black children.
Yes.
One of the schools that I was blessed to serve in is a school called Nancy B. Jefferson. It's named after one of the great Black civil rights leaders from the west side of Chicago, Sister Nancy Jefferson. So the school that makes this unique is it's located inside the juvenile detention center. So all of the things that you are hearing about across the country about these young people shooting and carjacking and all of that, they have to go somewhere when they get locked up. And the place they go is the juvenile detention center, and the school they attend is Nancy B. Jefferson. It's affectionately known in Chicago as the Oddie Homes. So I was the assistant principal in this school that's in the juvenile detention center. So anybody from 12 to 17 who did any crime in Chicago and got arrested, they had to come see me.
Wow.
Sister Vicki, they couldn't put the students in the same room together. The GDs, the BDs, the Vice Lords, the Four Corner Hustlers, the Latin Kings, the Black Souls, the EBK. EBK stands for Everybody Killer. They fight every gang, right? So they couldn't put these young, mainly brothers, because it was 85% Black males that was locked up. And they could not put them in the same room together until I got to Nancy B. Jefferson.
Wow.
Nancy B. Jefferson, I went around and built relationships with all of these different brothers from all of these different gangs. And because I built relationships with them, then we were able to put these brothers in the same space together without these brothers trying to fight and kill one another inside the facility.
Wow.
So this is my work. While I was at Nancy B. Jefferson, I reached out to the Chicago producer of Hamilton, which we know is the greatest stage play, one of the greatest stage plays that has ever been written. And I reached out to the Chicago producer of Hamilton. I asked her, I said, will you bring the Hamilton play to the students of Nancy B. Jefferson? And I worked with the producer, for the Chicago producer, for 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, we brought Hamilton, the play, to the students, the incarcerated students of Nancy B. Jefferson. And while they were performing the play, this is what the producer said to me. She said, and she was white. She said, Mr. Muhammad, this play has only left the stage twice. Once when we brought it to the White House for Michelle and Barack Obama, And
Wow.
the other time is when we brought it to the students of Nancy B. Jefferson.
Wow.
So this is my work with Black
Yes.
children in
Yes.
Chicago, and this is why I have become a target as a Black educator who is not going to compromise my principles,
Yes.
who's going to fight every single day for
Yes.
Black children. So, as you know, Sister Vicki, when it comes to mainly Black male educators, as long as we're in the so-called low-performing schools,
Mm.
and the schools that the district doesn't really care about,
Come on.
then they tolerate our presence, right?
Mm.
But when I was blessed to be selected by the Black local school council at a school called Lindblom in Chicago, which is one of the top ranked schools in the city, the officials in CPS were upset that a Muslim, first and foremost, a Black man,
Yes, sir.
because the school had never had a Black principal since it reopened in 2005. Even though it's a Black school, it only had white male principals. And so when I became the first Black male principal to be selected by the Black LSC at this Black school in Inglewood, and it's one of the top ranked schools in the city of Chicago, the CPS officials, I'll name them, I'm not afraid to name them, Pedro Martinez, who used to be the CEO.
Okay.
I don't want to mispronounce her first name, but her last name is Bogdana. You can look her up. She's second in command. Felicia Sanders, third in command. These are the people that were upset that a Black man became the principal of a Black school over Black children in a Black neighborhood. My immediate supervisor, his name is Devon LaRosa. I'm not even going to call him a Black man, but his name is Devon LaRosa. I don't know what he is, but when I was blessed to get over this particular school, these people had an issue and they did everything within their power to have me removed, as well as the white teachers who were at the school, who were stealing money, who were ghost payrolling, who were doing all these things that they had no business doing. But they could not have done what they did if it was not for CPS management co-signing everything that they did.
Yeah,
so this is what led to the fight between myself and Chicago Public Schools, because they created this false narrative, this false report, and they used that false report from these white teachers to railroad me out of a school and a position that I did not take, but that I earned by the work that I've done for the last 30 years in the city.
Wow. Now this is deep. So do you all understand that bit? He's given us an update to let us know a bit about what's going on. Of course, you can imagine it's way more that's going on than that.
Absolutely.
But just very quickly, let us know that this is a part of your story, but also this was happening to many other Black educators. Is that right, sir?
Absolutely. I'm not the only Black educator that's fighting for Black children in the city, in the country. You know, that's not the case. We have several Black educators, many of my predecessors, who went through similar things or circumstances with Chicago Public Schools. And as I've been, speaking on different podcasts and traveling around the country, Black educators have come up to me or would leave a comment on a video or send me an email, and they would say that the same thing happened to them. As soon as the test scores went up, as soon as the fights went down, as soon as the students started respecting and loving each other, as soon as the academics became the focus, the students, the parents started to get engaged with the school because of the work of these Black educators, then there would be a group of salty white people that would create false narratives and lies to get that Black educator removed. I'm not the only one. But now the thing that we have to understand is that we have to get involved, brothers and sisters, because it's not happening just to me. Your brother just was courageous enough to stand against a system that is oppressive to Black children. But this is happening to Black educators across the country. Now, I want to pause real quick, Sister Vicki, because all throughout this interview, I want to get the support of your listeners who have been great over the years. We have a website called justiceforabdulmuhammad.com.
I'm going to ask that while he's talking, can one of my mods, because it's literally been ever since I've gone live, I've been doing a little content recently here, but I need one of my mods, if you're in the building, please put that link in the chat so that I can post it. Go ahead, dear brother. Okay, it's justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. And what I'm asking the public to do, you interviewed Brother Troy, Sister Vicki. Yes, sir.
One of our and he's the president of the principals union here in Chicago.
Yes.
And Troy is a fighter from the beginning to end. He's had my back. And so Troy and I worked on a letter for the Board of Education. And I want to give you all an update on kind of what's happened in Chicago, but I'll say this, then I'll go to the update. We worked on a letter for the Board of Education. And if you go to the Justice for Abdul Muhammad website and scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a section called Take Action. If you scroll down to the bottom in the section called Take Action, you can click on a link and send a letter to the board. It literally takes 30 seconds to do. You click the link, the letter populates. You don't have to put in any emails. You don't have to do anything. All of that is in there. You just click the link and you send the letter that Troy and I worked on together to the Board of Education. So I would like, and I'll say this multiple times.
Yes.
I would like everybody to send that letter. They've already received hundreds of letters. And I know, Sister Vicki, with your viewers, is going to be thousands more.
Yes, yes.
So we want everybody to go on the website, justiceforabdulmuhammad.com.
It's posted right there, everybody. You all
right
see it there. They did all the work for you, because I remember doing it myself before, and we need to go back and do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
They literally do all the work. None of us have any excuse not to pull that up. Go ahead, dear brother.
Okay. So, and the reason, so we did do that before. So I just want to give you all an update on what this fight has led to, because it's led to many things, right? And one of the things that happened during the course of this fight is when Mayor Brandon Johnson got elected, he appointed a whole new Board of Education. Troy and I didn't go, but Troy went, the president of the Principals Union. He went before that board to plead my case and the case of the Black principals multiple times.
Okay.
And every time that Troy went to that board to plead my case, and I'm 100% innocent, and I have the evidence to prove it.
Yes, sir.
When he went before the board to plead my case and expose the lies and the known falsehoods, what are some of the falsehoods? I need all of these people to understand. When I went into this Black school with Black children that has a 95% white teaching staff, I need y'all to understand the dynamic that I'm dealing with.
Come on.
I went into this Black school with Black children in a Black neighborhood with 95% white teachers. And when I walked in on the first day, I found out that they were ghost payrolling on day one.
Wow.
Meaning nobody's working, but people are getting paid, right? Then a few months later, I found out that teachers were stealing money. Christina Davis, the athletic director, was stealing funds from football games and other sporting events, right?
Y'all listen, that's why you need to go look at the other interviews he did.
That's why you got to look at the other interviews, right?
Y'all.
Then we find out not only were teachers stealing money, not only were they ghost payrolling, they were covering up student injuries. What do we mean? Black children getting injured, and we have these white teachers at Lindblom covering up the injury. So when I came in as the Black principal, I'm trying to hold these people accountable for their neglect of Black children. But because the CPS officials that I named earlier did not want me at this school, they didn't care nothing about these Black children.
Come on.
They didn't care nothing about Black parents' money. They didn't care nothing about people ghost payrolling.
Come on.
They didn't care anything about students getting injured. They didn't care anything about children getting allegedly sexually harassed by staff members. Please. They allow all of that to go just to target me.
Come on.
So I need you all to understand that this is the fight.
This is the fight.
They do not have the leg to stand on. We need y'all to send that letter. So when we went to the board, Sister Vicki, with this evidence, when Troy went, they ignored us every time. Ignored us every time. And so a few months later, or some months later, the mayor, all of these board members stepped down, and there's a new board.
Y'all listen.
So you're not sending this letter to the board that ignored us already.
Okay.
These are all new people.
You're
sending this letter to a whole, I think it's 21 of them, a whole new board. Is all new people. So we definitely want you all to send that letter. But in us fighting, this is one of the things that have come out. There have been several other things that have come out as well that we'll talk about as the interview continues. But I wanted you all to understand that you're not sending the letter to the same people that ignored our pleas before. It's a whole new group of board members and a new board president. So we definitely want you all to send the letter on justiceforabdulmuhammad.com.
Now that's important. Several of you have already said they didn't sent the email even while
Absolutely.
this is going. And family, that's totally a good reason to click off and go click on.
Right.
Just come back because we're gonna have this up. We're gonna have it so that folks can watch the replay later, of course. And we're going to put out clips and all that kind of stuff. This is very, very, very important. So many times we hear folks say, what can I do? Or what, all this talking and all this. Well, this is not no all this talking. Even if it was, that's still the beginning because we so behind. It's, in my opinion, we can never talk too much. You don't run a government or a system and they don't have regular standing meetings. You have legislators and Congress people because they do a whole lot of talking. You have to do that. It's about how effective we are in our strategy when we talk and how we execute and implement it. And he's given us our marching orders, and that website is a big way for us to do that. Yes, Miles, continue to put that link in the chat from time to time. My sister Miss Cherise and brother Warren, they've been very good about this. Y'all put it in again because sometimes the chat is scrolling, so I don't see the link as easily when I'm trying to post it. So thank you all for constantly putting that in there. Everybody continue to share. Welcome to my Facebook family. I have been there we go. Thank you, Precious. I've been getting a lot of good feedback on a couple of my Facebook channels. So I said, yeah, we got to go back to live on Facebook. It has literally been years. So we're simulcasting there as well. So we're going to give it a chance to populate. We're never worried about that. And of course, I'll discuss this on one of the other networks that I'm on at a later time as well. Thank you, Precious. So family, with that little bit of, with that background, so they ignored. You did press conferences, I think, at one time before.
Absolutely.
The government was tripping. Give us a little bit about how, a little bit of that, but then give us whatever you can, because I know y'all. Let me say this: there's some things he can't talk about now, family, and we want to honor that and respect that because as progress is being made, of course, I don't want to do anything to sabotage that either with our brother on here. But tell us what you can tell us and give us any updates that are relevant, please.
So, Sister Vicki, yes, they tried to ignore myself and the Black principals, even though we made a lot of noise and brought up a lot of attention, as you know, because you were a part of bringing this to the attention of our people.
Yes, sir.
So the thing that we had to do in September of 2023, we filed an EEOC complaint. Whenever you sue for discrimination, as anybody knows who's dealt with these legal matters, you have to start with the EEOC. So we started with the EEOC in September of 2023. We filed our complaint, and it's a back and forth. You file your complaint, they filed their response.
Yes.
The EEOC started their investigation.
Okay.
After 180 days, we received the right to sue letter. Pardon me. We received the right to sue letter from the EEOC. Which is what my attorney wanted. We filed our complaint in federal court. I want to say in July of 2024. You all don't quote me on that, but I believe it was July of 2024. And again, in federal court, there's a back and forth, right? You file multiple back and forth. So we're at this point, all of that has been done.
Yes.
The EEOC, all of that back and forth has been done. The federal court, all of that back and forth has been done.
Okay.
So what we're waiting on right now is the judge, because right now it's before the judge to move forward. So we're waiting on that. Now, in this 2 years, because this has been a 3-year trial for me.
Yes.
It's been 3 years. But in the legal part, that's been about 2 years. With all of that back and forth, more evidence of CPS's wrongdoing has come out. And I can't go into that because that evidence is extremely damning for them. But that's something that we're definitely gonna use. Of course, they're upset that we have this evidence, but it is what it is. They've been lying from the beginning, and every liar has to be exposed and will be exposed.
Come on.
And so that's what we're doing. We have the evidence, and Sister Vicki, you interviewed me in the beginning. I maintain my innocence from day one. And not only am I still maintaining my innocence, but we also have the evidence from them that I am innocent. So we're not going to go into detail about that, but that is where we are. And so at this point, brothers and sisters, I'm asking you, because the fight is already won. Already won. We want you all to join the fight because we want y'all to be a part of the victory. So if you could send that letter into the board, like I said, it's a new board of education. They've already received hundreds of letters. I know with this show, they're going to receive thousands.
Come on now. Keep going.
because we want to make it where they can't ignore it. But if they do ignore it, it doesn't matter because we have the truth on our side that can't be denied.
Yes, sir.
So it would be better for them to rectify the situation. But at the end of the day, the truth is on our side, brothers and sisters. It's only a matter of time. The victory is already ours. So that's just an update on the legal side of this. You know, they never thought that, you know, I was going to stand up and fight them the way I have. And most people,
really, I don't want to cut your wisdom. Don't forget your next point, but just someone asked this question. And of course, family, we're asking you to go back through my lives so that you all can see those in-depth interviews because they bring major receipts. And of course, as he mentioned, there's some new development, new damning information that he can't talk about right now because of the current status, the current legal status. But with that being said, someone did ask, is there anything you can tell us about why they targeted a lot of the Black educators in the first place? Of course, they fired you, right? They actually fired you.
So the technical term is not fired. You know how these people try to be so technical. So what they did is they put me on administrative leave, but they drug my name through the mud because when all of this happened, my name was on the news, you know? And so once that happens to an educator, once they lie on you and drag your name through the mud, when you try to get another job, it's like ain't nobody, because people Google you today. So this is all part of their plan against not just me, but other Black educators as well. So at the end of that administrative leave, yes, I was technically fired. And when you try to get other positions, you know, they Google your name, like what, and then when you try to explain, you know, even though you may tell the truth, it's like somebody looking at you, they don't know. And most people don't want to take a risk if they are really not sure. So it damages your reputation and it damages your ability to move into something else. So, so all of that, you know, Sister Vicki, none of us are exempt who are fighting for our people from the same systems that have attacked every Black leader that has cared about our people and fought for our people. The same oppressive systems that have attacked them. None of us who are fighting today are exempt from being attacked. That's by those same systems. So we have to wear that with a badge of honor. Somebody asked a question in the chat. Where's the letter? You go on the website, justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's a section called Take Action. In that Take Action section, there's a link where you can send a letter to the board. Brothers and sisters, it literally takes 30 seconds. You click it. The letter is going to populate in your email, and all you got to do is click send. You don't have to write a letter. You don't have to add anything unless you want to. The letter's already been written. You click that link that says send letter to the board, and then you click send when it pops up in your email.
Yes, sir. I'm on the website right now. And all you do is scroll to the bottom, y'all. I think
that's it right there. That's it.
Just go to the website. The link is posted right here. Justice for Abdul Muhammad, ABDULMUHAMMAD.com. And family, scroll all the way to the end until you see this section, take action, and then you take action. Like he said, you don't even have to write a letter. You don't even have
to write a letter.
You got to worry about subject, verb, agreement, none of that stuff. All you do is click.
Let me say this real quick, Sister Vicki, because one of the sisters that got removed as well, her name is Dr. Kimberly Gibson. And she received text messages. So her situation was a little unique because she was a Black principal at a white school in Chicago. But in that school, you had Black children, and those Black children were not getting serviced by those white teachers in the schools, Black special education students. So when Dr. Gibson went into school and was trying to correct these things so that Black children could get the educational services that they deserve based on their IEP, the white teacher sent her all of these derogatory text messages, called her the N-word, said, we're going to get rid of you. They went to the board and complained on her, even though she was innocent, lied on her, and said she didn't report grooming, all of these things, right? When Dr. Gibson was at this school, it's Harriet Tubman Elementary School. When she was at the school, Dr. Gibson was walking, right? The stress from all of this, when I met Dr. Gibson, because I didn't know Dr. Gibson before, when I met Dr. Gibson at the press conference that we had with Attorney Crump, Dr. Gibson was in a wheelchair. And at that time, when I first met her, I didn't know that it was the stress of what she had gone through that put her in the wheelchair. So through all of this, so over these 2 years, Dr. Gibson and I have become friends. So the stress of all of this not only put her in a wheelchair, but eventually put her in the hospital. She was in a coma, and maybe about 2 months ago, she came out of a coma.
Are
So,
you serious?
Sister Vicki, this is the stress of having your name in the media, having people lie on you, losing your job, losing your livelihood, right? This is what the Chicago public school officials are putting on Black educators. And like I said, I'm not the only one, Sister Vicki. Most people, they just go and they just get another job somewhere. And I decided to stand up and fight because I could not let these people lie on me with over 83 lies.
Wow.
And then I just walk away and don't say anything. But these are the Black educators in Chicago who are fighting for Black children who are being targeted. So the question that you asked earlier is, why is this happening? And not just in Chicago, but all around the country.
Exactly.
And it's happening because the greatest thing that we have is the minds of our children.
Come on now.
It's the greatest resource that we have in the Black community is the minds of our children. And what the enemy has always wanted, they've always wanted access to Black children's minds so that they can control the future of Black children by controlling what Black children think. So we know today our young people, they don't go to the church. They used to be where they would capture your mind in church.
Exactly.
They do. Young people do not go to church, right? So they can't capture their mind in the church. Young people don't even watch TV anymore. They watch everything on their phone. They watch YouTube and social media. They really don't watch TV. So they used to be able to capture their mind with television, but they can't even capture their mind there anymore. So they know that the one place that they can capture the minds of Black children is in the schools. And so that is why there is an onslaught against Black educators. When I first started teaching in Chicago, 50% of the teachers were Black. I need y'all to understand this. When I first started teaching in the city of Chicago, 50% of the teachers were Black. Today, only 19% of the teachers in Chicago are Black. And what has happened is Black teachers have been systematically removed from schools where Black children are. So this is a fight on multiple levels, brothers and sisters. We definitely need more Black educators to go to school for education. And we also need to fight where our children are. If we're going to send our children to the public school system that our money goes to, there's nothing wrong with you. If your money is going there, then you need to have control over the school where you send your children and where your tax dollars are going. And we deserve and have the right to have Black educators educating our children.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Family, if you're just tuning in, you're tuned in to my personal channel, VickiDillard.tv. We're so pleased that you've joined us today. I have a wonderful guest with us again, beloved. I have had the privilege of interviewing him a few times, the great Black educator out of Chicago, Brother Abdul Muhammad. We have been talking about his ongoing legal battle with the Chicago public school system. Of course, many of you all know that it has been an ongoing battle for the past, 3 years or so. And I want you to go back through my videos under the live here on my personal channel. I know you all used to see me on other networks, but on my channel here is where I was able to do the in-depth interviews where there have been more recent developments. That's what this interview is about. He can only give us so much information right now. Just know that Black educators are being targeted. They're in the middle of a legal process right now that's moving forward. Continue, dear brother, let us know what else can you tell us about what's happening here. Now, I want to say this before you do. I'll put the link back up here for me so that I can post it again.
JusticeForAbdulMuhammad.com. JusticeForAbdulMuhammad.com. We would like everybody to scroll down to the bottom to the Take Action section so that you can send a letter. It's already written. You don't have to write anything. It's already been written. All you have to do is click the link and then click send, and that letter is going to the Chicago Board of Education. There is a whole new group of board members, and we definitely want to get this in front of them so that they will have the opportunity to deal with what's going on in Chicago public schools.
That's right. That's right. So, fam, the link is right there posted for you to go there. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom, and he does literally all the work for you. All you do is click it. And we want you to do it, and then we want you to turn around and text, Facebook it,
Absolutely.
TikTok it, Instagram it, X it, or whatever, sit on all your social media. I don't care if you got 2 people following you, 200 or 2,000. We want you to send this out. Tell your social groups, tell your fraternities, tell your sororities, your mosques, your churches, your temples, your sacred places. If you hang it out with the mamas in the public school system while your baby's on the playground, say, have you heard about so-and-so, so-and-so? Girl, click this right here and hit this real quick. While you talking, literally, this is how we want to do this. Yes, family? Right. Now, while that's being said, I want to say this. Now, I have done over the past several years, I had the privilege about the end of last year when I went during the week of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I had the privilege of doing a town hall there. And I met some of the activists on the ground face to face. It was absolutely amazing. We were there at a Black establishment. How to Eat to Live. The sister was wonderful there. We used their establishment to have, a very intimate Black town hall. I plan on doing another one in a couple of cities this year. Me and my team are working on it. In California is definitely one of the cities that's on our list. And so I'm looking forward to also in due course going back to Chicago for something as well. Now I'm bringing that up because there are actual people on the ground that has been standing 10 toes down on a number of different issues of injustice related to Black Americans. And so one of those issues is the immigration issue related to giving actual tangibles for people that are illegal, those that you would in any other case call a criminal. But when we deal with them, we call them dreamers. I did a video yesterday on my channel here where the man there, the LA mayor out there in LA, I'm switching cities now, LA mayor was put in charge of funding for the illegal migrants that were affected by ICE. There's an actual private funding to give them cash. And the mayor, Miss Karen Bass, out there signed an executive order to make sure that those funds are issued. Now, I'm someone that does news nationally and internationally. I'm a woman of the world. I love the people of the world. I'm the mother of civilization. But I make sure to keep the main thing. And I talk about justice across the board. So no, you're not going to hear me advocate for benefits and prioritization of folks that violated the law to get here when we refuse to even give tangibles to those that are responsible for the creation of these United States of America. And if you're in your feelings and can't tell the difference between someone that did something legal and illegal and giving them resources that you won't even give us.
Right.
And if you say that's division, I have to really examine your head, the upper region of your neck, to say, what part of this don't you understand? You don't get to say that to Black people, not to me. When we are the kindest, sweetest people on the planet, we have made room, Brother Abdul, for everybody but us, including during the 60s. I always talk about this, that during the 60s, when we so-called got the right to vote, so-called got civil rights all in the same decade. And do you know what other major legislation passed in that within that same time space? Major immigration legislation that we're credited for giving the momentum and energy to. How in the hell, after all those years, we just got an official right to vote, official civil rights, and in the same time space, brother, a major piece of immigration law passes because of us? How is it that those that were not lynched, those that were not crucified on multiple crosses, those whose body parts weren't dismembered, eaten, scattered abroad, women violated, and so many other things, got major legislation in the same year? So you don't get to say we are uncaring. You don't get to say we are unthinking. You're going to get to say that we're unsympathetic. I'm saying don't allow yourself as a member of the Black diaspora to come from other countries and be used as a tool in particular against us. And don't tell me about creating alliances, Black and brown alliances. And there are a few out there, maybe somewhere scattered, but they're the exception and not the rule. They have a responsibility to walk alongside of us. And I don't believe that we should be sitting here, this is my personal opinion, and prioritizing anything related to ICE detention facilities and so-called raids when some of y'all have Black family members that you haven't even checked on in the belly of the beast. And you sit up here talking about what a travesty. Now, all I'm saying to you is that's going on in Chicago. And Mayor Brandon Johnson has had his hips taken to DC under a couple of different investigations. Now, I know he was even referred to for the DOJ criminal stuff. I don't know really what's going to happen with that, but I certainly know that he has been a target. And the reason he's a target, I believe, is for good reason. I believe he's a target for good reason, because you cannot put other folks in front of those that are responsible for getting you in office, turn around and give them the middle finger. And I'm gonna say this, brother, and I want you to jump in any moment. I'm bringing up a larger context, which is not I'm just showing you how there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of political mess he's in, and I just don't think it's in his best interest to pile on by disrespecting Black educators when I believe and know that there was something that he could have done about this early on. Now, let me say this. When Brandon Johnson, Mr. Mayor Brandon Johnson, got in office, guess what they did when Black folks in Chicago got engaged? I'm sure you're well aware of this too. When Black folks were showing up so strong for those meetings, those political meetings, so many Black Americans was filling up. Do you know his office proposed to make them get state issued IDs, turn around, change the layout of the floor so that more people didn't have direct access on the lower floor to Congress, to lawmakers, right, until the third-party government watchdog said to him, "Sir, you're probably violating the law with this fool," and so he pulled it back. Now, right, I'm bringing that up for a reason. They're actively working to silence Black voices, is what I'm saying, by doing stuff like that. You tell us by getting IDs on the one hand, you say Republicans are racist by making you get an ID to vote. But right, it's the Democrats that propose these anti-Black policies against their Black constituency. And I'm saying, this is Vicki Dillard, it is not a good idea for Mr. Mayor Brandon Johnson, who's under all kinds of investigations and stuff, and his office is in trouble for allegedly hiding information. And when the investigators that came down there to look for stuff found out that there might be some gifts and stuff that they had received, they had up in a closet somewhere, and they weren't being transparent about a lot of that. This is not a good look for y'all. And I would suggest that you do everything within your power to ensure that our brother and other Black educators get justice. Go ahead, brother, and jump in, please.
Yes, ma'am. So, no, thank you for that, Sister Vicki. I think so. I have to say this because I've sat down with a lot of preachers and politicians during this fight, and sometimes we make the mistake of saying that none of these Black leaders are doing anything, and that's not true, because State Senator Willie Preston. I was at a Democratic Party convention dinner that I was invited to. This is after I've been removed, and I'm walking through the dinner, and the state senator is there. And I see him in the room. So he comes up to me, said, "Brother Muhammad, I want to apologize to you, because when you got removed, I didn't say anything. I didn't raise my voice." So I said, "Look, brother, can you help us in this fight?" And so Brother Troy and I and the other Black principals, we met with State Senator Willie Preston. And when we met with State Senator Willie Preston, he's the one that ended up carrying the bill for us. When I say us, all the principals, not Black principals, all principals, is called HB 297, which gave HB 297 was just passed. It was just signed by the governor. But Willie Preston from that meeting is the one that carried the bill that gave principals more protections, and also gave principals the ability to strike, not strike in a way where they leave the job. Like when firefighters and police officers strike, they send a mediator in they don't say we going home. They have a automatic mediation, right?
Okay.
So State Senator Willie Preston, who we met with behind this fight, he said, "My daughter went to Lindblom." That's what he told me. He said, "Brother, my daughter went to Lindblom and she loves you."
Wow.
So that conversation led to us having that meeting.
Come on.
And that led to the passage of HB 297. So I would not say that there's no Black politicians. That's just not true. But now, then once we met with State Senator Willie Preston, then he also called us to a meeting with the State Legislative Black Caucus, right? Okay. So myself, Principal Gerald Morrow, Dr. Gibson, as well as Troy, we spoke to the State Legislative Black Caucus based on his invitation, right? Okay. So there have been several alder people. I spoke to the Aldermanic Black Caucus on behalf of the Black principals. I'm trying to remember the sister's name, but it was one of the alder sisters that invited me to that meeting. Okay. I met with her. So I would be remiss to say that Black politicians have not stood by us. I can't say that. Have we gotten the results that we couldn't? No, I don't think we have.
Yes.
But when it comes to our brother Mayor Johnson, I do have to say this, because when we first started this fight, and we had a press conference at Father Flager's church, and this press conference was May 18th, right? It was May 18th, 2023. This is right after they removed me. We had the press conference, and the next day, we had Troy and I had a Zoom meeting with the mayor, and these are the words that Troy said to the mayor in 2023. He said, if you want to get rid of Pedro, meaning Pedro Martinez, and bring in your own team that shares your vision, we're giving it to you on a platter. Why did he say that? Because if you look at what they did to me, like, there's no way you can co-sign none of this. Like, it's outrageous, right?
Yes.
The mayor really didn't respond. He had an opportunity. He could have, maybe there were other things that are pressing. I'm not going to assume anything when it comes to that. But what I will say is this, that because the mayor didn't act on what he could have used to remove somebody that was not doing an effective job in Chicago public schools. Later, what ended up happening, the same person that he could have removed ended up turning on the mayor and using his position as the head of Chicago public schools to make the mayor look bad in public. So this is the irony when you don't stand up for your people.
Come on now. When
you don't stand up for your people, then the very people that you refuse to stand up for your people for end up turning on you. So Pedro Martinez turned on the mayor.
Come on.
And used his position as the CEO of Chicago public schools to make the mayor look bad in public numerous times. So there was, if y'all go back and look at it, was this back and forth between him and the mayor, and he's trying to act like he's innocent and he's not innocent. But all I'm saying, Sister Vicki, is all of that could have been avoided.
Well, exactly.
Had our brother just stood up for his brother.
Come on now.
So, and a lot of times, brothers and sisters, and I have to be fair because I've been in a position in the public, and I've always tried to serve my people.
Yes.
And not serve my people by being unfair to anybody else. I would never do that, right?
Sure.
But I'm not going to ignore my people to the delight of somebody else. I'm not going to do that either.
That's right.
So the mayor, if he would have stood for his brother and acted a year ahead of time, then he could have gotten rid of a problem that eventually made him look bad in the public and created other problems for him. But the thing that I want all of our listeners to understand, this is the other part of it, right?
Yes.
The white power structure in Chicago don't want no black person in that seat, period, point blank. That's just what that is. They didn't want the sister that was before Mayor Johnson. They don't want Mayor Johnson. So, but because Mayor Johnson has not built that strong support of the black community,
right,
now he becomes a target of them,
exactly,
and a target of us.
That's right.
I mean, it's like, that's the dynamic that the brother is in.
Yes.
So I just wanted to say that the brother could have acted on behalf of his brother early on. But now, brothers and sisters, the mayor is not the CEO of Chicago Public Schools. He's over the CEO, so he can put pressure on him.
Yeah.
But he's not the CEO, and that's what we were asking at that time, because the situation that was happening with the black principals, he could have got involved. Somebody from his team could have got involved, and that situation early on could have gone differently.
Exactly.
But it didn't. He chose to go the route that he went. But what I would say is that to all of our community people, we got to hold these politicians accountable.
Yes.
For what they do and don't do. But then the hard part for us sometimes is looking at the bigger picture, is stepping back and asking the question, even though I'm going to criticize this person or that person or call them to account on this, right? What is it that the white power structure is, what is their end result? And we don't want to play and be a part of what they have in mind for any black politicians. But we still have, I'm not saying don't hold them accountable, because we have to, that's just what we have to do. Right. But at the end of the day, they don't want no black man in that position. They wanted to go back to the old boy network that has been for the last 60 years in the city of Chicago.
And in my personal opinion, you know, who cares if it's a black looking person? Because I believe there's a difference between black people and black looking people.
Absolutely.
And all they're going to do is be a good manager of white supremacy in white face. And so while I certainly understand what you're saying, and I can appreciate, you know, your eloquence and making sure that you're fair about this, but I still think more pressure needs to be put on the black.
100%. Yeah.
I'm going to put that out there that y'all ain't doing enough. And I don't give you hardly any credit because your funny looking selves are in that position so that you can ride hard for black people.
Right.
Nobody is confused in any city, brother. Nobody is confused about where the Hispanic folks stand. Nobody is confused where any other group stands related to that people. They're unapologetic. I did a video a couple years ago on former Latina Miss Nuri Martinez out of LA.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And she was a president of the city council there. She was in the presence of other Latina lawmakers. So we ain't got to exaggerate nothing. They were secretly being recorded. And all the other Latino legislators was in the meeting agreeing with her, laughing when she was calling us darkies, monkeys. And guess what the meeting was about? More than the name calling, more than her extreme anti-blackness. Guess what the meeting was about? Redistricting and taking over black power, basically, essentially. Now watch this. Pressure was put on her and she finally stepped her anti-black, terrible, horrible self down. But guess who chimed in at the time to encourage her to step down? The Biden administration. I have been calling since then for an investigation because it's very clear, in my opinion, based on belief and information, that they were colluding, this is Vicki talking, with high-level Democrat and White House officials to do what they did. He had to distance himself. You see, the White House and other Democratic operatives had to distance himself by calling all the way from the White House for Miss Latina Nuri Martinez to step her funny-looking self down because they didn't expect that to be revealed. What did Joe Biden say after he secured the presidency and he was waiting 2 months later to take the oath of office? What did he do after he was forced to be on a Zoom call with black looking leadership like the Reverend Al Sharptons, the Urban League, the NAACP folks on a Zoom call? He was forced to have that meeting after he won the presidency. Why did they force him, brother? Reverend Al Sharpton, who's one of the biggest boule biscuits of them all, publicly humiliated the Biden administration. Some of y'all forgot this on his little tired MSNBC show and other shows, saying that after they helped to get him and Kamala officially elected, they started ignoring them. So Reverend Al and the rest of them started to go public on the Biden, the new incoming Biden administration, and coming to them saying they're not returning our calls. So that's why they were forced to even have the Zoom call in the first place. That's why I'm bringing that up. What did he say in the Zoom call? And I'm reminding you, giving y'all context of this idea of replacing us. He literally cussed out some of the black so-called leadership in that meeting. And I play the record all the time. And then what else did he do? He said that America is doomed, not only because of black folks, pay attention to the number one target, but he said also because white folks are getting ready in America to be the minority come 2040. And guess what he said after that, Brother Abdul? And y'all gonna have to work with the Hispanics.
Right.
While he's cussing them out. I'm bringing this up because I'm not trying to make this an unnecessary war between us and them. I'm saying there is a very real and sustaining target to get us the hell out the way. And I'm seeing that dynamic, brother, even in this case, when you're talking about some of the other Hispanic folks that are involved in this education system and how the mayor of Chicago is making himself look crazy. Now, in my opinion, I'm saying this to the listeners now, and I want you to jump in any moment. Family, before I go further, he wants us to go to the website. Somebody put it in the chat for me again. Say it again. Justice.
The website is justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. Brothers and sisters, we want you all to scroll all the way down to the bottom. We want you to send that letter to the Board of Education.
Yes.
It's a new board. All you have to do is click the link, click send.
Yes.
And that's it. It takes less than 30 seconds to do.
The letter is written, family. You don't have to write no letter. You ain't got to
do anything. You don't have to do anything. Yeah. So, and then brothers and sisters, so I just want to say this.
Real quick before you say
go ahead, Sister Vicki.
The last thing I want to say, because I'm gonna do this because I just know how the powers that shouldn't be are. We need to make sure that we are lacing and conflating and connecting and using the energy and the attention and the malfeasance of the mayor and his office and any other political official there, including the alderpersons. We need to put this, use this issue as an albatross around their necks and connect it with the issues that are getting national attention with your issue, because it's a matter of justice and this needs to be connected to that. That's why I'm bringing that up. I'm saying that we're not fixing to let the whole wide world get all the attention and all that from this other issue. And we're not conflating. And when I say conflating, I mean mixing in, because that's how you get the attention that we need on this matter. Is we don't just sit back and just let that conversation go without us putting our 2 cents in. We can do it without saying we're not trying to attack the Latino community. Right. We're not trying to do this and all this kind of stuff. I believe in legal immigration. That's the difference between me and everybody else. And the other thing I don't believe in, to the degree that you have, that there are instances where folks violate the law. How dare you give tangibles to them and not us? That's what I'm saying. How dare you step over homeless Black people to talk about you worried about somebody else that violated the law to get here? And how can you say we're going to ally with a group of people who have the full intention, as was revealed in those secret audio recordings, of undermining and replacing us? This is what I'm trying to say. And I'm saying, family, that I believe that if you're on the ground talking about the immigration issue and the ICE issue, and how we should not be giving more concern to that over our own people, I'm saying that we need to connect this in the same breath that we talk about that, is what I'm saying. We need to be bringing this up front and center, brother, and we need to be putting the pressure on Mayor Johnson to let him know we're not going to be his friend, or the older people, we're not going to be your friend if you're not going to be willing to go all out for Black people, Black educators in Chicago. That's the issue. You're not going to get no pass from Vicki, and you're not going to get no Addie boy, no pat on the back for halfway on. No, you come out. This is your job. That's why you're there. We don't need another Black looking person. That's what I want to say. Go ahead, brother. Somebody put the website in the chat so that I can.
I'll say this, Sister Vicki. We already know that if this would have happened in a Latino community, where there was a school where there was the first Latino principal in a Latino school,
yes,
and it only had white principals before, and they finally got a Latino principal. And during that time, you know, while the first Latino principal was there, a couple of Black teachers didn't like the Latino principal in the Latino school with the Latino local school council and a Latino alderperson.
Come on.
And a couple of Black teachers were mad because they were stealing money in the school and not reporting sexual harassment and different things like that. Those couple of Black teachers couldn't have got together and got that Latino principal removed, and the community didn't say anything. Exactly. The alderman didn't say anything. The Latino mayor didn't say anything. The LSC didn't say. So there is in our community, you know, we think, oh man, you know, maybe he just trying to get his job back. And it's bigger than that, because, you know, I can just go somewhere else. I've done this for 30 years of my life.
Come on.
It's not just fighting for a quote unquote job. We're fighting for the education of our children.
Yes.
And not just the education of our children, but the education of our children in our neighborhood.
In our neighborhood.
All of these people, all of those white teachers at Lindblom are visitors.
Come on.
They do not live in the neighborhood. The children would never see them at the grocery store. They would never see them at church. They would never see them on the block. They would never see them at the park, because none of those teachers who teach at Lindblom in Inglewood, none of them live in that community.
That's right.
They live on the north side. They live where the white folks live. Soon as the school is over, they leave that community and they go back to where they're from. They have no investment outside of that job in that community. So we're the only ones that would even allow something that has happened and has been allowed to happen. We're the only ones that would even tolerate something like this.
That's right. And that's
everybody else. No, I'm with you. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
And that's why I'm saying. And let me tell you something. The reason why I'm saying, even the gentleman with the bill and all that, I need him to go harder. I need all the Black older people to go harder. Here's why.
Absolutely.
when the immigration stuff came out, I do the coverage on this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I do international news. I love the world. Eritreans love Vicki Dillard. Burkina Faso, the Burkina people love Vicki Dillard. Before everybody started talking about Captain President Traore, Ibrahim Traore, I was on it before the masses got it. You can't tell me nothing about it. I love all peoples of the world. That's not the issue here. We're talking about this particular unique issue of justice and where the emphasis needs to be. Here's why. Black politicians, Brother Abdul, during the ICE raids, I live in Colorado, 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes away. The mayor gonna say, one of the mayors here gonna say, he was willing to go to jail.
Right.
Wait a minute, y'all, did y'all hear what I said? They talking about they willing to go to jail, to prison for the illegal ICE migrants. You had Black California assemblyman, a legislator out there. I call his funny looking stuff out. He came out, sabotaged the local reparations issue in California, brother. Guess what he did? Guess what pictures I put up on him? He out there on the front line for the ICE raid. Stop it! And they talking about they willing to go to prison for them. Do you think I'm finna say I'm gonna give them credit for a whisper, for standing with up? No, no, no. You can come out and say you wouldn't go to jail, fire brother. You can come out and do that because that's why you are there. So we got to stop this appreciation. No, I don't. This Vicki, brother, I do appreciate. I don't appreciate. No, I don't. I appreciate you getting your funny looking stuff out there and putting your life and limb on the line because that's why you're there. Otherwise, we don't need Black looking people there. You're supposed to be there to disrupt the people on behalf of us. That's why you're there. And let me tell y'all something. It's a new day. If we're at war, you better act like a soldier. You better stand up and know that, yes, you might get a scratch or two. You may get hit in the face. And yes, you might even get sacrificed with your little raggedy tired job. I don't care. That's why you're there. We're not there to just say no, you're there to get some work done and to ship shake this system. You're not getting nothing until you come out like these politicians, Black and white, that said they were willing to go to jail for illegal ICE migrants. I'm ready to hear you say that you're willing to do that for our brother and our dear sister that's in a wheelchair. What's her name again?
Dr. Kimberly Gibson.
Dr. Kimberly Gibson, a Black educator out there, that she's in a wheel and just came out of coma. Did you say she was in a coma?
She was in a coma, yes, ma'am. So and
she was in a coma. And let me tell you something. I don't know her personally, but I'm gonna tell you about my legal situation. Before it became criminal, I was doing a lot of civil stuff. I was hitting up a lot of high-level people. Let me tell you something. Sometimes they want something to happen to you physically.
Absolutely.
That you will stop and back down.
Absolutely. Right.
Let me tell you, if y'all think for 1 second they don't pile up a lot of legal stuff on you so that you would have a physical reaction and sit down somewhere, you are out of your mind. You don't know who the real enemy is. If you think for 1 second they're not doing this on purpose. And when we get involved and when we help hold these folks accountable, when we sign this petition that our brother says, when we keep the attention on this, this helps to alleviate some of the pain and the energy and the stress on our folks that's out there on the front lines for these particular issues. And we ain't gonna do that by talking about these little aldermen. No, I don't appreciate nothing. I appreciate you saying you're going to jail. You can say you're going to jail for our brother. That's what you can do. Go ahead, Brother Abdul.
No, I just wanted to say that, again, Dr. Gibson, who was the principal of Harriet Tubman, when she walked in that school, she was walking on 2 feet. But it's from the lies, from the stress, from her receiving text messages from anonymous phone numbers, calling her the N-word, saying we're going to get you. All, them going down to the Board of Education because the white people stuck together. And so they all went down to the Board of Education and lied to Pedro Martinez and his people. And their thing, Pedro Martinez and his team, their thing was, we want to appease these white parents. To appease these white parents, we're going to get rid of this innocent Black educator. And in my case, same Pedro Martinez said, we want to appease these white teachers, so we're going to get rid of this Black educator. So that is the dynamic that our sister who was in a wheelchair and is still in a wheelchair, but was in a coma, because you all have to understand that as we're fighting, like, we're losing our livelihoods. That's the reality.
Exactly.
And the stress of the fight, it takes its toll on any human being.
Exactly.
So this is what the principals are fighting for. We're fighting for Black children, because in these schools, see, the part that the parents don't see And I'm gonna say this, parents, when your children jump in the car, if you send them to school, you ask them, baby, what did you learn at school today? And your child says, Mama, I ain't learned nothing. They're not lying to you. You think they just saying that. So you don't probe them further. They are not lying to you.
That's right.
They're in these schools, and in a lot of cases, they're not being properly educated.
But
when you have a Black educator who loves Black children to go in these schools and hold not just the white teachers accountable, but the Black teachers who are not doing their jobs, to hold people accountable for what they should be doing for Black children. Chicago has some of the highest paid teachers in the country. My question is, why aren't the academics and the condition of Black children in the city of Chicago, why isn't it better? And in my case, brothers and sisters, I'll say this.
Yes.
Every department in Chicago public schools came together. Every department came together to get rid of me. Let me name them. We had the CEO's office. We had the Office of Network Support. We had the Office of Principal Quality. We had the Office of LSC Relations. We had the CTU. We had the OIG. We had the Law Department. Every department. I'm not making this up. This is actual facts.
Wow.
Every department in Chicago public schools came together, united to get rid of your brother. Now, here's the critical thinking I want you to do.
Powerful.
Do all of these departments come together to make sure that your babies can read and write?
Come on now.
Do all of these departments come together to make sure your children can do math? Do all of these departments come together to stop the teachers from molesting Black children?
Come on now.
Do all of these departments come together to stop the gangbangers from coming up out the neighborhood to shoot your baby at the school?
Come on, brother.
Do all of these departments come together to stop the children from fighting and harming each other in the school? Yes. And you already know the answer. But they all came together to remove an educator that has transformed every school that I've walked into. So that should let you know how important your children's minds are, that they will all come together to remove an educator that would put your children in a position so that they could be successful in school as well as in life. So this is the fight, brothers and sisters. This is the fight. The fight is for the minds of our children, which is the greatest resource that we have. This is why we want you to go on the website, justiceforabdulmuhammad.com.
Yes.
Scroll all the way down to the bottom in the section called Take Action. We need you all to click that link and send this letter to the Board of Education. It's already written. You don't have to do anything. All you got to do is click send. It'll take you less than 30 seconds. Every department in Chicago public schools worked together in unison.
Wow.
To remove your brother. And they don't work together with anything else.
That's deep. That's deep. Now this is important. Now what I'm about to, I'm going to put the website back up. justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. justiceforabdulmuhammad.com, family. Go there. You don't have to write no letter, figure out no words. You don't even have to do no thinking. You just let your finger scroll to the bottom, click, and you're done. You don't have to worry about subject verb agreement. I know y'all sitting here saying, this man is an educator. I got to make sure the grammar's right. He did all the grammar and stuff. The team did all the grammar. All you need to do is go to your website and click, and then tell everybody you talk to do the same. Yes. Now this is important. Now let me say something. Now I'm going to keep emphasizing what I just said related to a lot of this stuff because the energy is with us. Now this is why I do what I do, Brother Abdul, and what I've been doing using alternative medias, even when I was working with Dr. Boyce Watkins for a while, Fly Nubian Queen, Your Black World. I'm currently still on African Diaspora News channel. I do content for them. In addition to their YouTube channel, they got apps. So we're in different parts. Plus, I utilize my platform. And then I just got some good news recently to where another platform wants to pick me up. We're going to make that announcement here pretty soon where they want me on a couple of their channels. We already had the meeting and we're moving forward with that. So at the summertime, my content is going to be elsewhere. Let me tell you something. Notwithstanding the former press secretary of the United States, Kareem Jean-Pierre, blocked me, Brother Abdul.
I saw that, Sister Vicki. You was bringing too much smoke, Sister Vicki.
Too much smoke. And you would think, why was she worried about it? And it's because I mentioned her name about her being on MSNBC's Morning Joe in relation to her defending former government official Susan Rice. I don't know if y'all remember Susan Rice. She worked with under the Clinton administration. A lot of folks don't know that she was involved in that Rwanda stuff. They tried to put that noose over her head as a Black woman. They tried to make it seem like she had something to do with the travesty when the Clinton administration was in the office with the debacle they made of the Rwanda genocide. They tried to connect her to that. And then later on, she ended up working with Obama, that she was supposed to really be Secretary of State. But guess what? White folks in the Democrat and Republican Party made sure she didn't become that. And so they put her funny looking self to the side. So I discussed her in that context. Now, let me tell y'all something. Why am I bringing that up? Why am I bringing up our brother who wrote the film Sinners, Brother Ryan Coogler? Why am I bringing that up? Guess what Brother Ryan Coogler did during the launch of his latest movie Sinners did? He went on multiple platforms, and guess what he said, Brother Abdul? He said, "I am a foundational Black American."
I saw that.
And he didn't just stop there. He went deep and said that his previous movies had to do with his distant ancestry when he did the movie Wakanda. He said, but he wanted to learn more about his more recent ancestry of the past 400 years, and even more specifically 100 and some years. And he said that his maternal, I think his maternal side of his family come out of Mississippi, which of course I was born and raised in Mississippi. He said he felt guilty that he had never even been to the state. So that served that tour of Mississippi and the plantation there. And he talked about how wealthy the plantation was. He broke down how some of the plantations were so rich, they had their own currency. Many of us didn't even know that. I knew from back in the day that as soon as we were up from slavery, some of our Black ancestors' face was actually on currency in the United States of America before they did the mess making that they did with it now. But why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because Brother Abdul, that means he's listening to us, because nobody uses those terms or phrases. And guess who's not in the house of the White House? The Democrats. Guess who is not the majority in the Senate? The Democrats. Guess who's not the majority in the House of Representatives all during one electoral season? The Democrats. And guess why that is? It ain't because of the Joy Reids. She's fired from MSNBC when y'all put all your hopes and dreams and wanted to be on her show. Was it Tiffany Cross when she was on MSNBC? No, they fired her 5 minutes later, baby. Was it Roland Martin that's from the underworlds? No, baby, don't nobody want him back. CNN don't want him. MSNBC hardly want him on the weekends. And even the Black network, the News One, won't even bring his funny looking stuff back. Why am I bringing this up? And this is Vicki talking. Y'all look at me real close. It's because we have the energy. And it's because when we do the right thing and use our influence, guess what? We're not only impacting government and politics and elections, we have the Ryan Cooglers of the world saying, I am a foundational Black American. The energy is with us. And if you mock a little Vicki Dillard, and you don't recognize the power that I hold, even with the platform, talk black to me, somebody, it's who watches me. You'd be surprised at people behind the scenes that in powerful position that got my back, but they don't want to publicly say it, but they privately support. You would be out of your mind not to understand. They understand the potency and the power of our message. That's what makes us a threat. So you would be out of your mind not to go to this website that's posted on your screen, justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. You will be crazy not to regularly share such things, not to regularly speak on such things, and most importantly, not regularly support folks like me. See, you got to support me. And this is what I got to say this. I'm on the rant now. I don't care what your religion is. If the only time y'all can like on my stuff, if you hear me put on the clip on Minister Farrakhan, something wrong. I'm just going to put it out there.
Right.
I be right when I don't specifically mention the minister, and the minister one reached out to me for a word. How y'all scared? And he the one... I mean, this is weird. I got people that's a part of Christian groups that remember me, even from back in the day, even when I went to some of that church, but y'all want to keep a little bit of a distance because she's screaming a little bit too hard, or she got on the top that I don't really agree with. But you would boast by standing next to a hip-hop artist that do nothing but spit out degradation for your people, but you can't stand with me, and I'm telling the truth, nothing but the truth. You gonna need me, baby.
Come on, that's right.
So you need to be supporting on a regular basis, and don't just put in the chat, put the exact thing on the chat for us. If you don't get your lazy, terrible, horrible self on that stuff and do a little something, anybody ask you to stand out on the front line or nothing and miss 6 days of work? Family, if we're at a war, act like it. It's not that hard. Typing in www.justiceforabdulmuhammad.com and clicking to the bottom.
And I'll say this, Sister Vicki, the liar, the greatest thing that the liar fears is being exposed.
Come on
and
now.
It doesn't mean that you have to have the biggest platforms, because the biggest platforms are co-opted. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
they're co-opted, and the way that God, Allah, has changed the reality. The media, the mainstream media, they're the ones that made the stereotypes about Black people and had the world thinking that we were thugs and gangbangers and baby mamas and welfare queens. That was the mainstream media. Every leader that was truly for us, every leader that was truly for us was vilified.
Come on.
By the mainstream media. Everyone, if you run down the list of whoever you say you like, because we like to gangbang with even our leaders. Stop. That's right. Every person, Black leader.
Hold on, the real blues and reds are the Democrats and the Republicans, right? I heard somebody say that.
Everyone that was truly for Black people was vilified by the white mainstream media.
Indeed.
And we went along with the vilification. But what God, Allah, has done is the mainstream media, the newsprint media, they no longer have any power.
That's right.
They no longer have the power that they abused and misused for the last 60 years. They had the power to say you were this, you were anti-American, you were anti-white, you were anti-Semite, you were whatever they said.
Come on.
They no longer have that power because nobody is even listening to them.
Nobody's even listening.
And through social media, other voices have emerged that the mainstream media does not control.
That's right.
And because the mainstream media does not control those voices,
that's right,
those voices become a threat. And it's not because you have numbers that makes you a threat. It's because you have the truth.
That's right.
That makes you a threat. So, and the fact that we're able to put this word out there in all of these different platforms.
Exactly.
We don't know who is listening, when or where, and getting that word. So this is why Sister Vicki, you become a threat. Yes. We know that for the last 70 years, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was a threat, but they always tried to filter his words.
Exactly.
Then when YouTube came around and people could get his words unfiltered, then they was like, oh man, they've been lying to us the whole time about this man. So this is the hand of God working through the technology that's been made to free the minds of the people. And that's exactly what's going on, is that our people's minds are being freed. So we have to support, of course, you, Sister Vicki. Like I said, you've been standing with us since the very beginning of this fight. And like I said, brothers and sisters, I'm coming back on Sister Vicki's show with her permission.
Yeah.
When we're blessed by God, Allah, with the victory.
Yes.
Over these liars who are mad because we have the truth. There's some certain things I can't say. I don't want my attorney to be upset with me. But we are definitely going to win this case against these liars. We're going to expose them for the lies that they told and the things that they've done and the injustice that they've done to Black educators and Black children. And so, brothers and sisters, again, the website is justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. We want you all to scroll down to the bottom. And all you have to do is click that link to send that letter.
Because he wrote the letter is written, family. You don't have
to write. It's already written. That's all you got to do is click the link. We want you to share it. Because what we want to do is we want to overload their inboxes with the letters. Whether they have an opportunity to do something, but if they do nothing, then Chicago Public Schools is going to have to answer for their lies either way. This is an opportunity for them to do something.
This is a website,
as opposed family. To what they've done in the past.
Go to this website, family.
That's the website right there.
Abdul Muhammad. And you see, this is what you're going to see. This is on my phone. Scroll all the way down until you see the section that says take action. This is what you'll see.
Right.
And then just take it from there. Click, click, click. Have your babies do it. Have your auntie, your mama, your husband, your cousin. Like I said, whatever.
Some of y'all got 20 email addresses. Send it from all 20.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Keep the pressure on. And the reason why I brought up our impact brother with the with the current president even though a lot of us didn't want Trump, but I'm saying we stuck it to the Democrats. This is my point.
Right.
It was our influence. I brought that up about our influence with the Senate, our influence with the House of Representatives. Now, notice they was lying the whole time about our influence. They first wanted to say that we're nobody, they mocked us. That's why Roland and other people constantly attack me all the time. And then after a bit of time, and then some of your videos, all of a sudden they started to take hold. Then some of your videos start to get thousands of views and tens of thousands of views. And then certain people that take your videos and turn around and put them on their platforms.
Right.
And then when I show up to places like Washington, D.C. to do a reparation, they pack the plaza as I'm screaming down the road from the White House. Or when I just came from Stone Mountain, Georgia. And even in a spiritual context like that, the people overwhelm you and they feel what they describe as a divine glory. People are actually watching, and the impact is really for real. The energy is with us. And so that's why we want you to know that what you're doing matters. The reason why Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson had to pull back from his draconian new proposed policies to stop you all from being effective in those political meetings was because we was exposing it. Do you all understand? Right. That's what we're trying to say. So it matters what's happening. And so we thank you all so much, but we want you to go to justice for AbdulMuhammad.com. I want to say this one thing before we get out of here. We got to get ready to go because I have another thing I've got to do today, but I want to say this. The reason I want you to go back through my older videos and see the last couple of interviews I did with Brother Abdul along with Brother Troy in some of my interviews with them is they giving details, receipts, and context to what you hear today. Y'all, the rabbit hole is deep. And Brother Abdul, I don't know how much you can say about this or not. One of the things that we talked about, y'all, did you hear our brother tell us that the educators in Chicago actually make decent money? But family, there's also an agenda out there to basically drive out families that are actually able to pay their bills when they have decent jobs. There's another agenda going on simultaneously to drive y'all out of the city.
Can I jump in real quick, Sister Vicki? I know you're trying to end. So real quick, brothers and sisters, the thing that has happened with this gentrification that we talk about, if you can afford to live in a city, then gentrification is not a problem. If you can afford to live in that neighborhood, it's not a problem. So what has happened in the city of Chicago, and I'm sure the other big cities, because they all model after one another, is the teaching jobs, the fire department, the police department, the librarian jobs that used to have a large Black population. In Chicago, you used to have a large number of Black police. That number has dwindled. In Chicago, you had a large number of Black teachers. That number has dwindled. A large number of Black librarians. That number has dwindled. A large number of Black firefighters. That number has dwindled. So when we were in this fight, Troy and I were on the west side of Chicago, and we met a brother from the fire department who told us that it was Mayor Lightfoot at the time, that they had an agreement that a certain number, 33% of the firefighters in Chicago would be Black, 33% Black, 33% Latino, and 33% white. This was a binding agreement, but Mayor Lightfoot would not honor the binding agreement and hire more Black firefighters. So how does this impact our community? If we can't afford to live in the city, then we have to move somewhere where we can afford to live. Gentrification does not happen if you have Black people that are making enough money to live in these areas. So there's an attack on Black people in these particular jobs. And if you go to the other major cities, you will see the exact same thing that is happening in Chicago. So when Sister Vicki says we're at war, it's not a war just on one level, or one front. It's a war on multiple fronts. And that's why we have to be fighting and be vigilant. And that's why our politicians, they got to stand for Black people. And if they don't, then we end up becoming the losers.
That's right. Every time about the links are dead. I don't know about that, family. Try from another browser or something, family, because some of the folks in here are saying they're having problems with the link. Family, keep trying for somebody else's computer. Turn off your computer, start it over again, family. Let's keep it going. Use a different browser if necessary. But I'm gonna put this link back up. It's justice for AbdulMuhammad.com. We're getting ready to post it back again one more time, family. And I'm so glad that you said what you said, because I want them to understand that what you're doing is a threat to several different agendas,
right?
All at the same time, which is why he's telling you, think about all the departments that unified to come against him. Right. But when there were real issues as it relates to protecting the children and making sure they were educated and ensuring they weren't violated and so many other things, Justice for Abdul. Yeah. So when they didn't do that for that, but they did it to make sure he got out of there.
Right.
So family, be sure to go there, scroll to the bottom, do what you can. But other folks are saying they're getting through just fine, family. So just keep trying.
Please keep trying with that link. And real quick, Sister Vicki, there's an article that was published in the Chicago Reader in 2009. And the title of the article is How to Get Rid of a CPS Principal. And they break it down step by this 2009 Chicago Reader. The name of the article is How to Get Rid of a CPS Principal. And the steps in this article is exactly what they did to me, right?
Wow.
But because we've been fighting, we made all of these things that they did public. The Chicago Public Schools has changed the way they no longer can get rid of principals, not just Black principals, any principals.
And a principal.
Because we've been standing up, fighting, and exposing this corrupt system that they use to railroad people out of their position. So this is the fight that we're in. Our fight and what you all are doing has made an impact.
Yeah.
And they don't have a leg to stand on, brothers and sisters. If you go on justiceforabdulmuhammad.com, send that letter to the Board of Education. All you have to do is scroll down to the bottom. Sister Vicki, I would like to ask if when Allah God blesses us with the victory, I definitely want to come back on.
Oh, yes.
I have more to say. I can go in more detail, of course.
Yes.
I definitely would like to come back on to celebrate with your viewers and listeners, because we have to understand, we have to realize that when we fight, we gotta fight. And when we fight, then God, Allah is going to grant us the victory. But you can't get a victory.
Come on, if you're
too scared to fight.
That's it. That's exactly right. And I would be honored to. And also, like I told you before, I plan on coming back to Chicago soon. So we'll be in touch. My team will be in touch with you. And that might be a good time for us to do that B1 town hall, and we can connect some dots there as well. So this is so important, family. The energy is on our side.
And that's why real quick, Sister Vicki. What I would like to do, this for you, but for anybody. So as I told you all, I used to work at the juvenile detention center. I was the assistant principal. Yes. And the people from Cook County, they love me to this day. I haven't been there since 2017, but to this day, I can walk in that facility and it's nothing but respect and love because the work that I did and continue to do. So what I do is I work with a lot of Chicago celebrities, a lot of Chicago artists, and we visit the detention center several times a year. We go in there for Ramadan. We eat with the young people during Ramadan. We break fast with them at the end of Ramadan. At the end of the year, we have an event where we bring them gifts. Myself and some of the Chicago artists, we bring gifts for the young people that are incarcerated and for their families. And so this is something that we do. Whenever a celebrity comes to Chicago, if I have enough time, I always invite them. So when Jay Prince, for example, came to Chicago, I called the facility, and I'm sure you've been in the facility. You got to tell them at least 48 hours or 2 weeks in advance. I called that night. I said, look, Jay Prince is in town. He want to come talk to the young people. The next day, he was in the facility talking to the young people.
Wow.
So what I like to do is anytime any of our celebrities or dignitaries, and I'm telling you all this for everybody that's out there, come to the city of Chicago. Now you say, I want to do something to help. I want to do something. Well, if you go to the detention center, then you talking to the ones that's shooting up the block. We go there all the time. So you talking to the ones that need to be talked to. Sister Vicki, what I would like to do is when you come back to do the town hall, I want part of what we do where we take a group of people to the detention center and we talk to young people that are incarcerated. I want that to be a part of what we do.
I got chills when you said that. That would be such a high honor, dear brother. And in fact, because of my own legal circumstances situation, that stopped a lot of my engagement in the way that I used to do. So that would be, in my sister, now she can probably hear you talking. So she knows this is literally something I told that I wanted us to begin to do, to see what I could do to allow me to get back into some of those facilities to reach our people directly. A lot of folks don't know, not only did I have a clothing outreach, food outreach. I had a program called Jailhouse Rock Academy many years ago that was approved by the state. So there's strict training, strict discipline. And I even paid for money outside of the training from the state. And my program was approved. So I used to go into women's prison facilities years ago and actually teach. So this is actually right in line with what I would like to do. And of course, they come against you so that you're not able to infiltrate and do what you used to do. So being able to have a direct connection would be a wonderful.
we got the direct connection, Sister Vicki. We
okay, that That's so precious.
We are definitely going to make it happen. In fact, we're doing a back to school event for the brothers and sisters that's incarcerated. So we're going to be doing that in August. So this is the community.
Oh, that's so. This is a making a dream come, another dream for me come true without me and you ever even talking about.
We never discussed this. But I'm saying that. So brothers and sisters, everybody that's listening. So this is the type of work that we're engaged in the city of Chicago. We want you to be a part of that work. Yeah. We go every year. We have a sister that I just met who is a manager of a Walmart. Well, not just one. She's a manager of all the Walmarts in the region.
Wow.
Because what we would do is we would go and spend our own money and buy all of it. We would spend $4,000 and get $4,000 or $5,000 worth of gifts every year to take to the young people. So the sister said, since she's over all of these Walmarts, that we don't no longer have to spend our own money.
Wow.
We can come in there and Walmart will give us a grant. We can pick all the gifts that we want and we'll take it. And we do that. We've been doing that since 2016.
Wow.
Every year at the Juvenile Detention Center here in Chicago. So as well as other events. But I'm saying that to open it up to everybody that's listening, because I'm not just saying the children are the future. I'm not just saying that. I'm living it.
Come on.
By the last 30 years of my life being dedicated to our children, no matter what the circumstance. So we want to open that up for you, Sister Vicki. We want to open that up for your listeners if they want to help support in any kind of way.
That would be wonderful. And a lot of folks don't know that for many years, I've continued to, even when they haven't let me go back in, but I've continued to support federal prisoner for many years. And when you are considered to be in the system, and initially years ago where I wasn't allowed to, I got a way around that too. Don't play with it. I've always been, people don't know what you do in secret. And then when they see how the divine does things in your life, then you do stuff in secret that they would never do. Right. They don't even think to do or even want to do because you don't really have the heart of the people. But I was raised this way. These are the examples that I saw from my own mother and my maternal grandparents. So this was an example before, so it was just natural and normal. So I can't wait to connect with you.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. We're gonna make it a whole weekend when we do the Black Town Hall. We're gonna make it a whole weekend. Absolutely.
This is so wonderful, and we're not going to stop, and we're just getting started. As we're ending, what are we doing, family? Going to justiceforabdulmuhammad.com, which is up there. We're scrolling down. You don't have to think about writing nothing, typing nothing. He's typed up everything, done all the work. You're just clicking it, and then you're sharing the link, and you're telling everybody in your household to do it. You're telling your neighbor to do it, your home girl, your home boy. When you're playing basketball, you saying, bro, let's do this real quick, bro, before we whatever you call it. I don't even know the sports terms good. Let me not even play with it. Before you drink your Gatorade, before you start dunking and stuff.
Right.
Let's just do this real quick, and you would have made an impact. And most importantly, stay tuned, stay engaged, and we're going to chop this up and put this elsewhere. Thank you so much for coming on. What are your parting words for us, dear brother, as we prepare to exit today?
So, brothers and sisters, I just need y'all to understand that if we're gonna be free as a people, we gotta fight. I didn't choose this. Like, this chose me, right? I didn't go to this school like I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna fight for Black children. I'm gonna become a target. I didn't choose that. Nobody chooses that. Nobody chooses to have their name drugged through the mud on the media. Nobody chooses that.
Come on.
But I'm not going to choose cowardice. I'm not going to choose running away. I'm not going to choose laying down. So when they came with these lies and this falsehood, I had to do what any self-respecting human being would do.
Yes.
I had to fight. And so that's what I've been. I've been in this fight for 3 years. I thank you, Sister Vicki, for having me on the show, allowing me to come to your viewers. It has been a great help and support over these years because you've been there since the very beginning. And I definitely appreciate all of your viewers, everybody that sent the letter. Like Sister Vicki said, we got to keep pressure. They like to do these things in the dark. And we're exposing what they did in the dark.
That's right.
The light. We're naming names. We're exposing them. Sister Vicki, I know you got to go, but I got to say this because I got to show your listeners how God works. So, brothers and sisters, again, this has been a 3-year fight. And I told you about all the departments that came against me. But now, many of these people who actively worked against me, they're no longer in Chicago. Pedro Martinez is gone. The people who are in 1, 2, and 3, they're no longer in Chicago public schools. Pedro Martinez, number 2, her last name is Bogdana. I don't want to mispronounce her first name. Number 3, her name is Felicia Sanders. All of them are gone. Wow. The head lawyer who was over the law department, her name is Ruchi Verma. She's gone. The board that we went to, we pleaded with the board. We showed them evidence. The guy who had Troy thrown out of the board meeting, His name is
I
Miguel
remember that. We
Navalle.
discussed, yes,
He had Troy physically
basically
assaulted
removed.
by security and thrown out. He's gone. The board that heard Troy but didn't do nothing, they were all forced to step down. So all of these people that we've been fighting, many of them, I'm just trying to show you all God's hand in this whole endeavor. Many of these people that we've been fighting against that did this, not just to me, but to the other Black principals, which in truth, they're doing it to Black children and families. They're no longer here. But we're not completely done, because we're going to keep fighting until all of them are exposed.
That's right.
They're no longer able to ruin the lives of Black children and families.
This is so powerful. This is so powerful. Godspeed to you. We're so pleased that you joined us today. We look forward to the follow-up. And like I said, I understand you all know he was not able to get into some of the other details. I'm sure you can say that because I saw some of your questions. That's why I said go back to the other interviews, because that at least gives you a lot of receipts and gives you a greater context and basis upon which this one is. He already told you he's going to come back to give us a follow-up. So he said what he could say, and I said what I said, but most importantly, I want us all to take action, keep pressure on. justiceforabdulmuhammad.com. Scroll to the bottom. The letter is written. You complete it, share it with everybody, and we look forward to hearing your update. And of course, family, we'll be updating you when I do make the next trip to Chicago. And of course, to have the high privilege of connecting with our dear brother and reaching our beloved youth behind the wall. Yes, thank you all so much. We bow to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam to you and everybody that tuned in. Share this broadcast, beloved. Shout out to my Facebook family. It's literally been years since I've gone live on Facebook. My team set it up to where I was able to simulcast today. So I look forward to doing that and sharing this message here and other places. Yes, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again.
Yes, ma'am.
Ashe.